Hello friends, I am Dr. S. Kandhare, HOD, Department of Botany, KMC College Khopoli. Here I am presenting a presentation titled Best Practice. KMC College Khopoli presents best practice. According to the norms given by NAAC, that is National Assessment and Accreditation Council, we have designed this best practice. So content of the presentation is given here. 2 best practices of our college, rationale of the practices, standard operating protocol, that is SOP of the practices, and finally conclusion. So let us begin. 2 practices of the college. College has been practicing 2 practices since last 5 years. There is net banking and education to execution, that is EduX. So these are the names of our best practices we are practicing in our college. The first is net banking and another is education to execution, that is EduX. So these are the 2 practices our college is practicing since 5 years. So first of all, I would like to share the rationale of these 2 best practices. First of all, we shall consider the rationale behind net banking. So aim of the practice, that is net banking, is to follow Digital India campaign of Government of India. So this is the prime aim, because we are entering into the age of digital age. LPG is going on in the world, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. So in the age of globalization, all citizens are expected to practice net banking. So therefore this is the dream of India, Digital India. So according to this need, we have designed net banking. The net banking encourage people to use mobile banking, that is net banking, at their home for faster transactions. So this is the main area we are concentrating upon. Time saving and troubleless usage. So net banking, as we are aware that use of ITC, that is net banking and mobile banking, saves time, it is convenient, it is troubleless. So the aim of the practice is to propagate this particular practice and use of net banking. Safe if done with due care. So there are certain loopholes in these practices, that net banking can be safe if it is done with due care. So this is also the important area that we are going to concentrate upon, because during net banking there are certain frauds and we have to make people aware of these frauds and cyber hacking. So therefore, what is the care during handling this practice, that is net banking? So we make the people aware of this safe use of net banking. Here this net banking involves participation of stakeholders. So this is also most significant aspect of this net banking. It is expected that all the stakeholders should participate in this practice. So here you can see student, faculties and community are involved in this practice. So this is a comprehensive kind of practice that comprises all the stakeholders like student, faculties and community. Therefore this is the rationale behind net banking. Now let us see SOP, that is standard operating procedure of net banking. How this net banking operates, that is the procedure, standard operating procedure, SOP. For net banking, student of college, especially from computer or commerce background, are selected because the computer knowledge and net banking is related to commerce. Therefore, we prefer the student from these two particular areas, that is computer and commerce. These students are properly trained by concerned faculties. So this is the next step. For this purpose, faculty is involved, and faculties train the student, because during net banking there are certain English terminologies, there are jargons common people could not understand. So therefore, faculties has to give instruction to the student, and faculty do the preliminary works for simplification of this net banking. So therefore, faculties are playing a vital role here. The trained student easily and conveniently contacts the people, that is housewives, laymen and intimates around the student's residence. Okay, so these are the target people, especially housewives, women. They are housewives and they could not reach to the bank physically. So therefore, we are targeting housewives, laymen and intimates around students' residence. So these are the peoples we are targeting for the purpose of net banking. These women, laymen, are generally less educated. These women are housewives, and generally these people are net banking illiterate. So this thing we are considering, because the people who are well acquainted with net banking, they are not our target. Our target is the people who are net banking illiterate. So generally women living in the home, that is housewives, laymen, they are less educated, they should be targeted. Then student establish cordial rapport with the target person. So this is also a part of our net banking, because etiquettes are very, very important. Morality is very, very important for us. So therefore, students are advised to maintain cordiality. So faculties instruct the student during training to be very cordial, very genuine, and follow the protocol of morality. So therefore, student establish a cordial rapport with the person who is approaching. Demonstration of net banking by the student. So this is the actual step where student instruct, inform and teach the targeted person about net banking. So demonstration is a very, very important step. Then after several rounds of demonstration, the targeted person learns and adopts net banking within some time. So it requires some time. The student explains, demonstrates the process of net banking. He explains all the terminology as well as do's and don'ts, then safety during this procedure. So therefore, after some time, after proper discussion and dialogue between the student and targeted person, the person adopts and learns net banking. So this is the standard operating protocol or procedure for our best practice called net banking. This is a very important best practice as per the age we are living in. We are having the information technology and internet facilities. So it is supposed that maximum citizens should adopt this procedure of net banking. Now another best practice of our college is education to execution, that is EduX. This is the second practice we are practicing. Now let us see the rationale of this practice. Here is the rationale of the best practice. The purpose of best practice or aim of the practice is to unlock socially significant or useful knowledge from class syllabus and deliver it to public. So this is the most important and significant aspect of our this second practice called education to execution. So the term itself is explanatory, that education which is imparted to the student should be executed. So in other words, we are unlocking. So I have specially mentioned this word unlock, because the education we are imparting in the class as per the syllabus, it remains locked in the class. So unlocking of this particular syllabus based aspects is expected during this best practice. The academic syllabus of all subjects contains many aspects, points, fractions that could be useful and helpful to common citizens. So this point is very important, because the academic syllabus comprises a lot of aspects and small fractions, some points that could be very useful or significant for common public. So therefore I have used these words, socially significant or socially useful. Okay, so this is the prime concept behind this education to execution. So syllabus comprises certain small points, small aspects, brief fractions of the syllabus that could be useful for the common person, common layman, and they are socially significant or useful. Such particular syllabus based points are focused during the best practice. It has been observed that there are misconceptions in the society. There are a lot of misconceptions in the society. Orthodoxy is prevailing in the society. There are ill practices in the society. Delusive tenets, gospels are also prevalent in the society. Irrationalities are also pervading in the society. So looking at these misconceptions, orthodoxy, ill practices, delusions, irrationalities, we have designed this education to execution policy. So these misconceptions should be eradicated, isn't it? So this is the another significant point we are emphasizing during this practice. So eradication of misconceptions, orthodoxy, superstitions, ill practices, delusions, irrationalities pervading in the society. So this is the prime aim of this practice. Human resource comprehensiveness. So this is also one of the important feature of this practice, that is education to execution. Human resource comprehensiveness. So this practice is comprehensive, since this practice involves student, faculties and community. So all the stakeholders are included in this activity, isn't it? Make student responsible citizen and an educated, learned guide of the common layman in the society. Students should become a guide, a learned or educated guide of the society, because a common person cannot learn all the subjects given in the syllabus. So therefore it is the duty of new generation, isn't it? New generation should shoulder this responsibility to educate the layman. So therefore student can become a educated guide for society. So these are some important points we are considering while implementing education to execution. So most important point is extracting syllabus based points, aspects and portions that could be important for society, socially significant aspects that could be extracted from the syllabus, and these important aspects should be delivered to the common person. So this is the basic concept behind the education to execution. Another important aspect related to this education to execution policy: teacher teaches the prescribed syllabus to the student. So here we know that the syllabus is taught by teacher and the student learns the syllabus, prescribed the syllabus given by the university. During teaching, teacher rationally picks up important, appealing, strategic points from the syllabus that are socially significant and eclectically compile it. So this is the duty of faculty. Faculty is involved at this stage. So what is the duty of the faculty? Faculty, while teaching, isn't it, rationally picks up important, appealing, strategic points from the given syllabus, isn't it? So teacher should be very cautious, and teacher cautiously picks up the points and appealing important areas or portions from the syllabus, and if he thinks that these points from the syllabus are socially significant, so he can compile these points. So this is the duty of faculty. Faculties enlist the compiled informative aspect and piece of informations. So faculty later on enlist all these informative points together. So compilation is there, and that is the processing, isn't it? The faculty processes the syllabus based points, syllabus based aspect. This processing is important, isn't it? It involves organization and elaboration of every compiled aspect. This is the duty of faculty. Faculty first of all compiles, first of all he picks up, he selects eclectically the important aspect from the syllabus, then he processes, he enlists all these points, he organizes all these points, then he elaborates, isn't it? He simplifies the compiled aspects from the syllabus, because syllabus based points are not digestible to the common public. So therefore it is the duty of faculty to compile it and simplify the points that are coming from the syllabus, isn't it? We cannot execute or give these points directly to the society or common person. So the syllabus based points should be simplified. So simplification is done by faculties. Faculties process the complex syllabus based knowledge for public usage, isn't it? So here you can see these faculties process the syllabus based points, simplify it, translate it if there are certain important aspects, and these important aspects are simplified in vernacular, isn't it? So syllabus based points should be processed and simplified. So that is the duty of faculty, and faculty do it and give it to student. Then next point is, as I have told you, simplification. This is the most important thing, isn't it? Simplification of the syllabus based point is important thing here, because syllabus is a complex and it could not be understood by common public. So therefore the point from the syllabus should be simplified. So therefore simplification, then briefing, isn't it? It should not be tedious. The point should be very brief, to the point, so that the common public can digest it. So this is the process done by faculty. So simplification, briefing and translation. So translation should be done because the language in which the student learn is not digestible or acceptable to the common public. So therefore translation of the syllabus based point in vernacular or in common language is expected. So this is done by the faculty. So translation of a piece of information. So I am denoting it as a piece of knowledge. We are not going to teach all the entire syllabus based points. So we are processing it a brief piece of information. So this point is to be emphasized here, and it is a piece of information. It is not a lengthy syllabus. It is a piece of information derived from different syllabus. Isn't it? Different means from different subjects. Different syllabus based subject is done by faculty. So this is very important step of this practice. So simplification, briefing, translation, these important points are considered, and the faculty do all these things. So this is the role of faculty here, this simplification. Thus, modified knowledge which is translated into understandable templates that are handed over to well-informed students. So again I am emphasizing here understandable. The syllabus based point should be made understandable, digestible. The common person should understand the concept in their own language, in vernacular. So therefore thus modified knowledge translated into understandable templates that are handed over to the well-informed students. So students are well informed. They are instructed how to carry out this particular practice. Then these students with assigned informative knowledge would reach out to the people residing around them. So students should not be bothered. They should not be texted. Isn't it? Student will not get the trouble for targeted person. They should not wander here and there for targeted persons. The student can use this particular practice to educate the people residing around them. So this is also a convenient way to deliver the knowledge, isn't it? Student need not go anywhere. Student contact the persons in his own family, his neighbor, or friends, intimates, etc., etc. Isn't it? The student approach there, student introduce them and talk to them and open this particular topic which is assigned to him. The student proposes the design topic to the targeted people and explains the assigned topic to the people and tries to dispel misconceptions. So dialogue begins, talks begins between student and the targeted person on certain issues, and the student explains the scientific rationale, isn't it? The logical rationale behind the given aspect, and he tries to dispel the misconception. As I told you that there are a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings or ill practices prevailing in the society, and this is the duty of this student, or in a holistic way we can say the duty of education institution to dispel misconception prevailing in the society. So now we are emphasizing on this dispelling misconception prevailing in the society, because this is the area that higher education institution should do, isn't it? Dispelling misconceptions. So this is important aspect that we are doing. Deliberations and dialogues between students and people produce good results. So this discussion goes on for half an hour, or the time limit maybe according to the convenience of student and that person involved. So this deliberation and dialogue between the student and people has been very good that we have observed. We talked to the student and student has reported that many targeted persons were informed and they got the knowledge and their misconceptions were dispelled. So this is our experience. So we are trying to extricate and extract the syllabus based concepts that may be very useful for the society, and we are practicing this education to execution practice since 5 years. So therefore it is an important practice. So now just I want to cite some examples how this education to execution policy targeting and involving the subjects, isn't it? For example, here gender inequity in the society and sex determination. This is important aspect that most of the common peoples or most of the common ordinary citizens do not understand. What is gender inequity? What is sex determination? Because it has been observed that there is a skewed sex ratio in the society, isn't it? Male-female ratio is skewed, and because of this skewed sex ratio, government has compelled to generate this particular slogan, isn't it? This particular slogan is the outcome of this skewed sex ratio in the society. There is imbalance between male and female ratio. Considering this fact, Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao is the slogan issued by the government of India. This thing we have to understand here, isn't it? In society, there is misconceptions about Beti, isn't it? Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, this is the slogan is the outcome of the skewed sex ratio. Male-female ratio is not in balanced state in India. So, especially in Haryana also we are observing this particular imbalance in male-female ratio. So, this is a unnatural phenomenon we are observing now in our country, Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, isn't it? So, Beti or woman or girl is despised in our society. So, therefore, this is the slogan, this is the outcome of skewed sex ratio in the society, isn't it? So, this is an important aspect, isn't it? We are looking for. Therefore, Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, according to this slogan, we have observed that there is misogynism prevalent in the society, isn't it? Most of the parents are not preferring girl child, isn't it? There is a female feticide, very significant misconception prevailing in the society. बेटी को जन्म दे के क्या करना है, बेटी तो पराया धन होता है, बेटी को पढ़ा के क्या करना है, एक न एक दिन वो पराया धन बन जाएगी, वो हमारे घर से निकल जाएगी, तो उसका हमें क्या यूज़ है। इस प्रकार के कुछ कंसेप्ट मिसकंसेप्शंस रिलेटिंग टू द गर्ल चाइल्ड, रिलेटिंग टू द बेटी इज़ प्रिवेलिंग इन द सोसाइटी। और बहुत सारा वक्त क्या हो जाता है कि जब एक महिला जिसकी नई नई शादी होती है तो वो एक बेटी को जन्म देती है, तो उसको देखने का नज़रिया बदल जाता है। उसके इन लॉज कहते हैं कि इसने बेटी जनी है, इसने बेटी पैदा की है, बेटा क्यों नहीं पैदा किया। तो वो जो महिला होती है जिसकी नई शादी होती है और उसको बेटी पैदा होती है, तो उसको वो ब्लेम करते हैं कि तूने बेटा क्यों नहीं पैदा किया, तूने तो बेटी पैदा की है। सो दीज आर द मिसकंसेप्शन प्रिवेलिंग इन सोसाइटी। सो द पब्लिक शुड मेड अवेयर ऑफ द बायोलॉजिकल फिनोमिनन ऑफ सेक्स डिटर्मिनेशन। तो यहाँ पे ये सेक्स डिटर्मिनेशन का जो इम्पोर्टेंस है वो आ जाता है। How the sex is determined? The sex is determined by the male partner, not the female partner of the procreation. जो बच्चा पैदा होता है तो उसमें मेल का ही जो क्रोमोसोम होता है वो होने वाले बच्चे का जो सेक्स है वो डिटरमाइन करता है. तो ये समाज के अंदर लोगों को पता ही नहीं है. वो देखते हैं खाली कि वो जो महिला होती है उसने बेटी को जन्म दिया है तो उसका जो दोष होता है वो महिला के ऊपर चला जाता है. सो देयरफॉर women are targeted and harassed for begetting girl child. So this is a misconception prevailing in the society. Therefore, sex determination, the biological phenomenon, should be explained to the common public through student. So इस प्रकार से हम ये education to education को execute करते हैं. So therefore, this is the important thing. Another misconception is origin of life, how the life is created or how the life is evolved. अब यहाँ पे जो है तो ये लाइफ क्रिएट हुआ है या इवॉल्व हुआ है, तो जो कॉमन पब्लिक होता है उसे पता ही नहीं है कि लाइफ का क्रिएशन नहीं इवोल्यूशन हुआ है. इस पृथ्वी के ऊपर लाइफ क्रिएट नहीं हुआ है, लाइफ इज इवॉल्व. सो दीज आर द सम मिसकंसेप्शंस एंड स्टूडेंट लर्न ऑल दिस थिंग्स इन साइंस. Origin of life, how life is originated, isn't it? There is Miller and Urey experiment. That experiment proves the scientific way how the life is evolved on the earth. So therefore, creation or evolution of life on the earth. So this is the basic question we have considered during the education to education practice. Another important aspect that is students are learning, that is probiotics. Is in biological sciences, students learn probiotics. So probiotics is an important concept relating to the health. So what to consume and what to not, isn't it? Consumption of processed food, artificially processed foods or naturally produced foods. So this is related to the probiotics and how probiotics is important for well-being, physical well-being, physiological well-being and psychological well-being of the person. So this particular aspect is also explained by our student through probiotics. Balanced diet, again this is also a scientific idea. Balanced diet, many people dwell upon vegetarian diet or non-vegetarian diet or mixed diet. So which diet should be followed? Some people say that vegetarian diet, exclusively vegetarian diet is good for health. Some people contradict this vegetarian aspect and they say that non-vegetarian diet is also good, and there are some people they say that mixed diet is a good diet for human health. So these are the concepts that student learn in biology, but these aspects remain with the student up till examination. And beyond examination, these aspects remain locked with the student. Student doesn't explain these aspects to the common public, but these are the aspects related to the life and common public. So the common society should be educated on these issues. Simple mathematics is also very, very important. Many person doesn't understand simple interest, compound interest. So student learning mathematics in complex ways can simplify and put forth all these simple aspects before common public, that is simple interest and compound interest from mathematics. So mathematics subject could be used for education to execution. Similarly, chemistry comprises a lot of knowledge, though it is a complex and very academic knowledge, but this academic knowledge can be simplified and delivered to the common public. So chemistry, pollution, environment protection, these are also very, very important terminologies and words, so buzzing words nowadays. So therefore this concept should be explained to the common public. From computer department, student can carry out the education to education aspect related to cyber crimes, hacking on social media, isn't it? Social media is becoming an important platform for all of us. So on social media there are a lot of illicit activities are taking place, and students make the common public aware of these illicit activities and save them from cyber crimes and hacking, isn't it? Hacking is also related to net banking, so therefore hacking is also very important. Cyber crimes are important, isn't it? The common public should be made aware of these all social media aspects that are probably involve cyber crimes and hacking. So these are the some important aspects we are extracting from the complex syllabus, simplifying it and delivering it to the common public. So this is the education to execution program or scheme organized and practiced by our college. This is our KMC College Khopoli genuine effort to liberate knowledge from class to community. That is education to execution, EduX, isn't it? So this is the gist of the story, isn't it? We are trying to liberate or unlock the knowledge from class to community. That is education to execution, EduX. So this is the gist of the story. So I would like to conclude here. So we are doing this work to simplification of syllabus based knowledge and delivering it to the common public, which is very, very useful for the common public. To propagate simple but significant aspect among the common citizen. This is the aim of our education to execution best practice. This practice fulfills the constitutional objective, isn't it? Constitutional objective, Article 51A, Clause H of the Indian Constitution. It guides all the citizens to spread scientific attitude among citizens. So this is also important thing. Constitution tells us to spread scientific attitude among the public, among the citizens. So this is the duty of a student to spread scientific attitude among the citizens. So therefore we are also carrying on this the duty assigned by our constitution, isn't it? The spreading of scientific attitude among the public. To add leadership qualities to the personality of the student. So while executing this particular practice, student automatically becomes a leader. So leadership qualities are also important to the personality of the student. To eradicate misconceptions, delusions from the social psyche. So this is also important aspect of this education to execution. Misconception and delusion are to be eradicated from the mind of public. So I thank you all of you for patient listening. So this is the best practice. These are the two best practices we are practicing by KMC College Khopoli. So thank you very much from team Criteria 7. Thank you.